Inside you, right this very second, is one of the most incredible high-performance machines on the entire planet. It's not built from steel or wires, it's your circulatory system. So today, let's pop the hood on this living engine and really see what makes it tick, what keeps you running every single moment of your life. All right, let's kick things off by challenging something we all just assume is true. We all know blood is red, right? Well, not exactly. It turns out the color of blood tells this amazing story about how life figured out how to transport its most valuable cargo of all, oxygen. So yeah, let's start with that simple question. Why is your blood red? The answer is surprisingly cool, and it has everything to do with a little bit of chemistry and a whole lot of evolution. So what's the secret? It all comes down to the metal that's used to grab onto oxygen. In our blood, we use hemoglobin, which is a protein built around iron. And what happens when iron meets oxygen? It rusts, giving us that signature red color. But a squid, it uses something totally different, hemocyanin, which is built around copper. And because of that, its blood is, no kidding, literally blue. Okay, so we've met the fluid. Now let's get to the machine that pushes it all around. At the very center of this whole system is this relentless, powerful pump, your heart. Its design is absolutely key to our energy and our survival. To really appreciate just how brilliant our heart's design is, you've got to see a simpler version. Take fish. They have a single loop system. Blood goes from the heart to the gills and then just kind of drifts along to the rest of the body at low pressure. I mean, it works, but it's not exactly high octane. We mammals, on the other hand, have a double loop system. Blood goes to the lungs, and then, this is the key, it comes back to the heart for a second powerful push. That extra shove creates this high-pressure flow that supercharges our entire body with oxygen. It's the reason we can live such high-energy lives. So here's how that double-loop journey actually plays out. Just think of your heart as two pumps working together. The right side is the collection station. It takes in all the used, deoxygenated blood from the body and sends it on a quick trip over to the lungs to get refueled. Then, that fresh, oxygen-rich blood comes over to the powerful left side, which then launches it on a high-speed journey to every single cell you have, from your brain all the way down to your toes. Now, these two pumps have very different jobs, and that leads to this really elegant design difference. The right ventricle, it only needs to give the blood a gentle push next door to the lungs. It's a short trip, low pressure. But the left ventricle has the massive job of pumping blood to your entire body. It needs incredible force, so its muscular wall is way thicker and stronger. It's just a perfect case of form following function. Of course, a pump is pretty useless if you don't have any pipes. So next up, let's explore this massive, complex network of vessels that carries the blood wherever it needs to go. We're talking about the highways, the main roads, and the tiny side streets of your body. So you basically got three main types of pipes. First are the arteries. Think of these as the major highways leaving the city. They've got thick, muscular, elastic walls to handle that high-pressure blood being blasted away from the heart. Those highways branch out into capillaries. These are the tiny residential streets. Their walls are just one cell thick. That's so oxygen and nutrients can easily pass right through to your cells. Finally, all those streets merge back together into veins, which are the low-pressure return roads, using these clever little one-way valves to make sure all the blood gets back towards the heart. Okay, we've covered the pump and the plumbing, but what is actually flowing through this whole system? It's time to take a really close look at the blood itself, this river of life, which is packed with essential cargo and a super specialized crew. So if you look at what blood's made of, it's actually mostly a yellowish liquid called plasma. That's the river. Floating in that river, you've got a ton of red blood cells. They make up almost all the rest. And then you see that tiny little sliver, less than 1%? That's your white blood cells and platelets. It might not look like much, but trust me, that little slice is absolutely essential. Each of these parts has a very specific job, like a well-trained crew. The red blood cells are the oxygen delivery fleet, the trucks carrying the goods. White blood cells are your security team, always on patrol, fighting off infections. Platelets, they're the emergency repair crew, ready to rush in and plug any leaks by forming a clot. And the plasma itself is like the ultimate cargo hold, carrying everything else, nutrients, hormones, waste products, all over the body. This whole system is an absolute masterpiece of biological engineering. But, like any complex machine, things can go wrong. So now we have to look at what happens when the pipes get clogged up in the most dangerous place possible, the heart itself. This is what's known as coronary heart disease, or CHD. The tragic irony here is that the heart, this amazing pump sending blood to the whole body, needs its own dedicated fuel lines to keep working. Those are the coronary arteries, and CHD is what happens when those specific arteries get blocked. The heart muscle itself literally starts to starve for oxygen and can't do its job, which is what can lead to a heart attack. And something like this doesn't just happen overnight. It's a slow, steady, and dangerous process. It starts when cholesterol and fatty stuff builds up into what's called a plaque on the inside of the artery. As that plaque gets bigger, the pipe gets narrower, which makes the heart work harder and drives up your blood pressure. But the real moment of crisis is when that plaque can break open, causing a blood clot to form right on top of it, which can seal the vessel off completely. So what causes these clogs in the first place? Well, there are a bunch of key risk factors. A lot of it comes down to lifestyle, things like smoking or eating a diet that's loaded with saturated fats. Other conditions, like obesity and even chronic stress, play a huge part. And for some people, it's just in their genes, making them more likely to have problems from the get-go. When you take a step back and you look at this entire system, it's just hard not to be in awe. From the unique fluid that carries oxygen to the high-performance double-loop pump and that vast network of vessels, the circulatory system is truly a masterpiece of biological engineering. It's an amazing living machine working for you nonstop. And that brings us right to the most important question of all. We've seen how this incredible living machine is designed, but we've also seen where it can run into trouble. So, now it's your turn. Knowing how it all works, what's one thing, just one change you can make to help take care of your own amazing engine?